Well, rather than rushing it and not delivering a good product, mainly because since I already have some experience with Kickstarter, and if you rush things too much, you're going to have a really hard time delivering everything on time, which I had
Yeah.
trouble with. I personally had quite a lot of trouble with that. So I
Mm,
don't want to go through that again.
right.
For me, for myself, and also for all the backers, because I think that it's unfair for them. So I'm going to make a new deck the moment I see that everything is all right. I'm ready to give a proper product and I'm ready to deliver it on time. So when the
Nice.
time comes, which I'm not sure when it will be, but not not for now, that's for sure. At least not for half a year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe a year or two, then then I will deliver a new product.
You're painting my heart, Karen.
Well,
I don't know if we can wait 2 years. I don't know.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh,
I'm
like you
sure I
said,
will be. Doesn't mean I can't complain about it.
like we said, there's a lot of decks coming out. We'll
Yeah,
keep
we'll fine.
occupied, and when they drop, we'll be just as excited as if they drop tomorrow. So
Yeah, that's true.
At least your pockets will be happy. That's for sure.
yes, I mean, I feel like this month, seeing everything that's dropped, even in the past like 2 weeks, people are probably trying to move all their budget around and figure out where they can get some extra cash.
Well,
That's for
that's
sure.
right.
Yeah. So coming to Kickstarter the first time, what was one of the things that, and you said, like you said, there were things that you kind of didn't maybe handle as well as you wanted to originally and with some of your campaigns. What do you think one of the things you would kind of suggest to someone who's looking to come to Kickstarter as something to kind of be aware of?
Well, first of all, actually, I had two unsuccessful campaigns before I funded my Nouveau decks. So,
Oh wow.
first of all, what I would suggest anyone who starts a campaign is to get to know people from how do you say that in English?
The community?
That right from the community. So get to know them, be it artists, be it collectors. Get to United Cards, for example.
Yeah.
Talk to people and get some insight on how everything works. Get feedback and suggestions. Because when I
Yeah.
started at first, I like plunged into it without thinking. I just said, well, here's my design. I'm gonna start a Kickstarter, and there's nothing else to it. Well, that's not it. There's a lot of story behind. You have to be, and more so now than it was when I started, because my first deck was around 2015, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, like 5 years ago, more or less, 5 or 6 years ago. I'm not sure. So when I first started, the community wasn't so wide. There weren't so many designers,
Yeah.
and there weren't so many collectors. It's something that grew pretty fast in the past few years. So
Right.
right now, collectors and backers in general will look much more in every detail, not just in your design, because there are many amazing designs, but also on how you handle your campaigns, on how you handle your production, on how you handle your communication with the backers. It's really
Yeah.
important. So, okay, you have a design, but um, put it on hold for a moment and actually get to know how the campaign works, how Kickstarter works, and how should you communicate with your both with your backers and the uh, how do you say that? Oh my god, I'm sorry.
You're
No,
It's
no,
fine.
it's
the
midnight.
vendors maybe like the vendors or
Mm,
fulfillment people or
no, 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 not the vendors. The printers. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
gotcha.
I'm sorry.
No,
So you also need to know what they expect from you, because for example, my first campaign, I had the design, but that design didn't meet the
The
like
specifics.
the specifics.
requirement.
Yes, also because the colors weren't right, the size wasn't right, everything in the design
Mm,
needed to be tweaked. So I didn't know anything of that. I
Interesting.
didn't nothing. I knew nothing at all about it. So I just made a design like I had a really childish mindset when I started my first campaign, and it's no surprise that it went nowhere. So after that, I kind of got to know Mike Rutledge from United
Hmm.
Cardists, and he helped me a lot
Nice.
because well he suggested that we make Nouveau the United Cardist deck of the year,
Oh,
and
cool.
I of course I got a lot of help from him and from everyone from the community, and also from other designers, like for example Lorenzo, like I mentioned at the first when we started talking. So pretty much that I would suggest
Mm.
that get to know the community, get to know how it works, and leave the design for later. First of all, you need to be sure that you can handle it. If you can't handle it, it doesn't matter how good your design is, you won't go
Yeah,
anywhere.
Yeah. I
that's for
think that's
sure.
yeah, that's definitely
Amazing advice. Like, such good advice, right?
well, and I think it's something that we still see today on Kickstarters.
Yeah.
When we look at Kickstarter decks every weekend, like we sit there and there's 4 or 5 decks that we know who the designer is. We see their pictures on Instagram. We see them interacting with the community. But out of those, we probably have another 7 to 10 decks who you have no idea who the person is. They are missing key things that as a collector or a buyer you want to know, like who's printing your deck. And then it goes through the whole process of being like, all right, well, you don't know who this person is, so you can't even reach out to be like, hey, like, did you think about including this? You should try tweaking this on your Kickstarter. And it makes it so difficult because I think one of the great things about this community, for the most part, is that they're supportive and they really are
Exactly.
looking to help.
Exactly. Yes, I have to completely agree with that. And also, because like I said, it changed a lot in the past few years. And what's happening now, at least in my opinion, is that many new designers go to Kickstarter and say, well, there are like a zillion new campaigns, and there are many of them that are getting funded. So I'm pretty sure that I have this good idea, this amazing idea, and I'm gonna make a great Kickstarter. I'm gonna start it and have it funded in like 2 to 3 days. So that's the problem, because they see great designers that have already a lot of decks behind them. They have a lot of experience, and they think that they are going to do exactly the same with the first deck or
Yeah.
with the first couple decks. Well, that's not going to happen. At least it's not going to happen if you are a new designer. If you already have a fan base because you design other stuff, for example, branding, or you're an illustrator or whatever, you design other stuff and have
Right.
your fan base, okay, yes, that's probably going to help you a lot. But if that's not the case, which is usually not, then you will have a hard time getting your campaign ahead. So forget about all these great designers that already have a long history in this community. They have a lot of decks behind them because they started many years ago, and they already are in that position that pretty much everyone knows them. Everyone in the community knows them, and everything they do will be good. And we know that. And that's it. So, so that's pretty much it.
I'll be the one that
Campaigns
says,
will be good. Yeah. Personal
So-
taste excluded
Yeah.
from it. Yeah.
No, well,
we
that's
won't
pretty
get into
much
any
it.
names, but
Being honest, that's it. So
Yeah.
it's like a singer or a band. You like a band, or for example, soccer. It's something that people from Spain can relate more to. So you are you are a fan of Barca or Real Madrid or whatever. It
Right.
doesn't matter if they're playing like drunk chicken. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You are going to love them nevertheless. So that's pretty much it.